Dun, 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 dun. Hello and welcome to Tribal Council. We're all here today to talk about the latest episode of Survivor. How's it going?
Day 36, and I'm still in quarantine.
Do we have to say it in a whisper?
But at least you're healthy, right?
At least I don't have to type numbers into a stupid computer.
Yeah.
I'm still doing that every day. All I do is type numbers, it seems like. Oh, well.
My wife and I actually went out today. We went to Costco.
Oh, I saw your picture.
Yeah, and line. I'm like, I guess it wasn't too bad. It was like a 15-minute wait to get in. But they had paper towels and toilet paper.
Oh, cool.
But no bleach, no Clorox wipes, the things that you...
Costco toilet paper is the best toilet paper, too.
Yeah, because it lasts forever. But
I just use both sides.
Yeah. The two-ply you just pull apart like a Dwight Schrute.
No, I use one side, and then I leave it, and then I go back and I use the other side.
That's nice. That's nice.
That's good for the environment.
It's good for the environment. It's good for your health. It's good for everything.
Not good for keeping friends.
No.
Anyway, on that note,
a little trick I learned in Raleigh last year. So,
what did you guys think of the latest episode of Survivor?
well, happy birthday, Nick.
Yeah. I gotta be when she did that, because I'm a big believer you don't give away your rewards because it just puts a target on your back. And
Tony sat her down and definitely said the right thing. I mean, his knee-jerk reaction to that conversation was, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, and he was right.
Yeah.
When Tony's a sane one, there's a problem.
It wasn't going to do anything for her. She wasn't going to gain anything from it, So it seemed like a waste. Because at this point, you can't just do something and be like, no, I was trying to be nice. They're all on to you. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, she claims it was to be nice, but I'm like going,
and it very well could be, but you'll never be able to prove it. So
no, because people always go, okay, she's doing it for a reason.
Like if her and Nick were like this, like they were best friends or something, then that would make sense. You're like, oh, yeah, you wanted to have a nice day on his birthday, But when they're not aligned or anything, and then all of a sudden, just give me a break.
Yeah, I thought it was right away. I said, no, Sarah, no, because she's usually a pretty smart player.
Yeah.
Plus, the reward was just Chinese food, and you're going to be hungry again in like 10 minutes. So.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Well, she said, well, I'd probably eat too much and get sick. I get it, but
that's probably true on just about any of those food rewards that they have every season. You'd want to eat. Your instinct would be you'd want to just like eat as much as you can, but that's got to really mess you up if you do.
Carol says, I love how Tony says the word moment.
How do you say it?
I'm trying to think if I picked up on that.
Yeah, I didn't pick. I'm going to have to go watch it again.
I mean, Tony, do I sound like Tony when I speak? Because we're about 20 minutes apart in New Jersey.
No,
you guys are worlds away from each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miami Mike says if it was first-time players, maybe she gets some bonus points from Nick, but not they're all vets. So yeah,
I think even then, because at this point it just is like if you have no relationship with that person at all, and just out of the blue decide to just be a nice person, come on. It's just people are buying it.
Again, yeah, my first thought was you're doing it to try and gain favor.
Right. It's obvious, right?
Don't put a target on your back. And it worked out for her. She didn't get, but her name did come up.
Almost seemed like
it came up.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. It almost seemed like when she said it, though, when she was like, Jeff, it almost like she kind of seemed like she was hesitating a little bit. Like she had the idea and then went like, and then said it. Because what are you going to do now? You now interrupted everybody. Didn't it seem like that? Like she was kind of.
It did. But, she won it. You won it fair and square. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
Go on the reward.
Right.
Or the rewards was at camp, but go to the, eat your meal and just say, okay, That's it.
You know, and even if you're going to give away your reward like that, do it later on in the game. I mean, for her to give away her reward, granted it was his birthday and that was the reason she was doing it, but I don't think 13 days from now, which to them probably seems like a lifetime, is going to really matter. You know, they're going to forget it by then.
Yeah, and it was too obvious that she was doing it because she looks at him as kind of on the outs, and they're trying to figure out who are the fringe people they can pull in. It was just too obvious.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she talked it over with the group that she was with and said, okay, this is what we want to do. But I just said, smart player. I thought it was a bad move. I thought she was going home. I really thought she was going to go home.
But you know what? Maybe they're not afraid of her. Maybe they see how obvious she's playing. So then maybe they're like, oh yeah, we see all her moves. She's not doing anything.
Well, even Nick says, I know she has a history of backstabbing friends. So why would I say, okay, thank you, I owe you one?
You're seeing right through it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to pronounce. Is it Yesenia? Am I saying that right? Yesenia. No good deed goes unpunished on Survivor.
It's true.
Yeah.
They're going to be always thinking, what's the calculated move here, right? No matter what you.
Especially with this group of people.
Yeah, because they've all won before.
Exactly.
And which means they've all played before. So you have to be. You just can't put yourself out. You got to be like Jeremy and Sophie. Literally go through life, and you sometimes are just so under the radar, it's ridiculous. But
they talk to enough people, so it's really weird. They're both under the radar, but they're both in the mix. They're always there, hearing what's going on, and they're talking to people, but they're not pushing it or something. I don't know. They have good finesse on how they're maneuvering.
It's smart because they control the game without putting themselves out there to control the game,
without being bossy.
Right. And but you have like Sarah who went boom. It's like all of a sudden now it's like at this point you don't want to give yourself put that target on your back.
You don't want to do something, keep everybody's lined up. You don't want to do something that's going to have you step out of that line a little bit in front.
Right. You don't want to put the spotlight on you because there's enough people that can have the spotlight on them already. You don't have to do it to yourself. Like the idea that they were immediately talking about voting out Tyson, you would think that would be the biggest spotlight. And yet.
Yeah, he does. I don't think his name really came up. I think Nick just threw it out there to stir the pot.
Well, I think he saw that, wow, Tyson keeps coming and saying different people. And it was obvious, I mean, from us, we could see that Tyson was doing it on purpose. But it did seem like Nick was kind of catching on that, like, why is he coming to us with another name? But.
Well, Tyson's he's still a good target to have there because he's really he's the outcast at this point, and he's going to be just because he's the old school player. Where at any point, if they want to try to throw somebody under the bus, they can all just, it's almost like if they all can't mutually decide who they want to vote for, let's just get Tyson out.
Again, though, you wait too long. Mm-hmm. You see it every year where sometimes every season they wait too long and that person gets on a roll with the challenges, and they go to Final 3 and they win.
Every single one of those people at this point needs to be thinking about a couple of things. They need to be thinking about their alliance. They need to be in who's they're solid with. They have to be thinking about who they can pull in, and they have to be thinking about who's already on the jury. And with the exception of one person on exile right now, that's the jury, right?
They need one more thing too: is edge of extinction. They don't know when that person's coming back,
right?
I would. Last night I would have sent Tyson back because number one, he's the best person that can beat Rob,
right?
Compete against Rob, and
to get back in again and get voted out again.
And this way, if say Rob comes back next week, well, you got a Rob Tyson alliance now, and both. I would have got rid of Tyson. Adam to me was not a threat. So I would have kept Adam around and got rid of Tyson.
Yeah, I don't see Adam as a threat at all either. They seem to be. He wasn't moving in on anybody. He wasn't pulling any strings behind the scenes.
No,
he was scrambling Always.
He tried, but he wasn't able to play the game he played the first time.
Right.
He moved in on Jeff's podium.
And it's been a couple episodes where he's been scrambling and he just hasn't been able to.
I also want to talk about Michele buying the advantage for 4 fire tokens. Would you have done it?
You're buying a 50-50 chance to save yourself. I mean,
if it was a legit 100% idol,
yeah,
absolutely, no question.
But another thing is you can't use it until there's 7 people left. She still, as of yesterday, there were 11. She still has to go.
You could only use it until there was 7 people left.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
That's what
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay, then I misunderstood it.
She has to use it in the next, last night plus 3 more.
Okay, I thought she had to wait till there were 7 people left.
See, a really good spot for her to use that is when and if she wins immunity and wants to save someone else.
Yeah.
Number 1, flip the coin to see if it comes up heads.
Be honest with you, because you lose a vote though. What I would do if I'm her and I think I'm safe, I sell it to someone that needs it, and that way it's like, okay, yeah, you're on the bottom. Give me all your tokens. You can have this. It's a 50-50 chance. You have a chance to save yourself tonight. That way, because if you flip and lose, you lose your vote.
Yeah. Why would you use a 50-50 on yourself? It would only be if you're absolutely desperate.
Right.
But if you're going to do that just to get the fire tokens, sell it to the person after the 7 people left.
She's not going to get her 4 fire tokens back though.
I wouldn't have bought it.
I wouldn't have either.
It was too steep. It was too steep a price. And like I said, like you said, JP, it's not 100%. It's 50-50. And the worst part is it's 50-50. It could hurt you, which I do like. I do like that part of the item. I've been saying for the whole time that if they're looking for them and they should find something, you lose a vote.
I just think if you're looking at this point in the game for her to look for something solid, a solid advantage to have in her hand going forward, this was not the one. She'd be better off with those 4 tokens because she knows she can use those later on to barter. And that seems like it has more value right now.
It does. And like I said, I right away I said, don't do it, Michele. Don't do it, Michele. But she was like, she just thought it got her some power. Again, I could be wrong. She could be being voted out and she flips it. She wins. And then she's right.
She could be practicing how to flip it.
Yeah.
She's over there practicing. What are you doing, Michele? Oh, nothing.
Carol says it's going to be good TV if and when she uses it. So suspenseful, clear consequences if it doesn't work. So yeah. Again, if she flips it and she wins, I'm wrong. We're all wrong.
So you have a 50-50 chance at being right or wrong.
Exactly.
This is good crazy Hank TV.
Again, like I said, I would sell it to someone else that's in trouble and try and get some of my tokens back.
Yeah, but who over there even has enough to get? Like, who has multiple tokens over there?
I don't know. I just wouldn't flip it on myself unless I knew I was going home. Yeah, I'll flip it because what do I have to lose?
Right.
So then those guys on Extinction Island or on the edge of an extinction, they were going to then split the 4 tokens, but there were like 6 of them.
They were going to buy peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
They were going to buy food, yeah.
Buy food and share it.
Wow.
So, because Poverty and Danny found it.
Right. And Poverty with her whole, I couldn't lie to them. Why not? Oh, you guys good over there? Yeah, we're good. Why? Why did she have to tell them all?
Yeah, when did Poverty become dishonest?
She turned she was like not. It was weird. Like she can't keep a secret now because she's a mom.
She doesn't want it. She doesn't want her daughter seeing her as a liar.
Just so you guys know, moms are the best at keeping secrets. We have all kinds of stuff you'll never know about.
I don't know. My mom, my wife. I know a couple moms that aren't very good at keeping secrets at all.
You only know what they want you to know.
I don't know.
So how's all that fighting going on between your kids lately?
None. 0. Nothing. Yeah.
I also want to talk about Adam thinking that there was an idol. Oh, that's brilliant.
Well, it was genius. And they showed that clip, and by God, it looked exactly the same. Exactly. He's not stupid, and I wish he would have said to them, like, when they're looking at him like he's nuts, and they're all playing it off like people on the jury are laughing. And he should have been like, no, Denise, doesn't this look exactly like the one you had?
Yeah.
You know?
It was so good. I really wish the payoff was that it was an idol.
Yeah, I guess it's Survivor South Africa. It happened in one of their seasons. That the idol was at the podium of the host, and I'm thinking because you remember early in the season, you remember Adam was in the voting booth, whatever they call it, and he's looking around, and we're thinking, is he looking for an idol?
Well, it would have been a super cool idea because you're looking at the 40th season, right? You have all these winners. They have all played. Some of them have played multiple times. So you've got a lot of seasons encompassed within that group of people. So to take little things from each different seasons and hide it in camp or at challenges or at tribal would be super cool idea.
I was so hoping that was it because that's what the idol shouldn't be laying on the side of the road in an old tree. It should be something you have to think about. That is just like if you're it can't be something that you're just there it is right there.
It would have been a super cool way for them to do all these like toss backs to these other seasons and show these clips celebrating all the years of things that they've done, right?
Right.
Missed opportunity. Jeff is keeping himself.
That would definitely be a decent twist because they all know what to look for as far as hidden idols go. But to now just have what could have potentially been an idol just sitting there right in front of them. I like the idea of having to think about it. This whole season is, especially on Edge of Extinction, it's all about solving puzzles. And to incorporate that to the people that are on the mainland, that would have been great.
I just thought it was fat. I just said, oh my God, I hope it works. I hope it. And then he was having trouble. I said, well, but he's had trouble all season with like this. I said, maybe he just can't get it off. And I said, you know what, Jeff, the podium is because then he would have to take the podium and throw it in the fire, right? This is not a hidden immunity. just walk back with the podium.
I was actually curious. Do you think with the way that Jeff reacted to that, did production at some point come up to him before Tribal and kind of forewarn him that Adam might go for that? Because Jeff played that perfectly.
Yeah,
he really did. They have to be buzzing about that in production, right? Like, oh my God, we just got this amazing clip. You'll never believe what Adam just said, and they have to be telling each other, right? Like,
Jeff says he doesn't know what's going on in the tribe, but sometimes his questions are too close to.
Right.
I read this article, it was like 8-9 years ago in some magazine where he said, I don't know anything that's going on. It's just, I'm like going.
I call BS.
I don't think so because he knows too much.
Well, him knowing makes it better because he knows the right questions to ask. So it's better TV if he does know. Because if he knows what we know, right, then he's asking the questions that we would want to ask. Hopefully, sometimes.
Yeah, but I go, oh, please be the idol. Please be the idol. I go, again, I didn't know it was part of season 6 of South Africa because Sunshine Breeze says, yep, it saved Palisa. I don't know. I'm having trouble with names today. In season 6 Survivor South Africa. I saw the clip. I actually saw the clip on Twitter. Someone posted it. Oh, I have to because the people that are playing with her like it's going. So they didn't see it coming.
Okay, let's say for a second that piece had not been so secured to the podium, and he could have gotten it off easily. Then what would they have done? Would they have been like, "Yeah, this is," or do you know what I mean? I just wonder if, like,
again, I would have taken the whole podium
now because that's a great idea.
I would have just taken the whole podium.
And did you guys see Adam and how he's looking so thin? His eyes were like bugged out because he's so emaciated. So at that point, you start to go. The jury's going, "Oh, Adam's paranoid." They were.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I think he had every right to be paranoid because at Tribal, nobody's talking to him except Ben. Where those two, they just don't like each other, and they're fighting back. It's like, Mom and Dad, please stop fighting.
Yeah, but he looked last night at Tribal. He looked like he's taking more wear from not eating than other people. So then you add in the paranoia, and then he's coming up with all these kooky ideas, which aren't really that kooky, but it kind of all, poor kid.
Yeah, he was definitely stressed out. I mean, I think it's frustrating, but I think in this, I said this 100 times, in this game where you're playing with all winners, you have to change look at Tony. Tony is still in the game because he's not being Tony for the most part. He's just going with the flow. He's not making waves. He's not backstabbing anybody, right? He's actually giving great advice to Sarah. So he changed his game. I think you have to change your game in order to compete.
It's like production is giving him a Valium every day or something. Really way more low key than we've ever seen before.
Yeah, Tony's playing a different game, and what's interesting is obviously Wendell was also playing a different game, or at least a different personality in his game, which obviously resulted in him being voted off.
Well, I did read last week that Wendell and Michele did have a thing beforehand, so they would not look like they were a couple.
I wish they would have shown.
I mean, at least that's what Wendell said, because he goes, yeah, we knew going in that we didn't want people to consider us a couple because we ever got together, they'd vote us out.
Great. So look what they did with the Poker Alliance.
Right. So they did have at least according to Wendell, they did have a pre-game.
If that really is, I wish that there would have been some sort of like talk behind the scenes where we would have seen them acknowledge it or something, so we knew. Because then he doesn't look like such a jerk.
Right.
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 If you go,
now they might have said it, and the CBS production didn't show it.
Maybe. It just made him look bad. If you don't think that there's any reason for him to act that way.
Yeah, he did look bad. He even said he goes, we didn't have that. He goes, we didn't really have a relationship. That's what he said. So I don't know what the deal is.
Very much like we were on a break or something like that. I mean, it sounds like an excuse. If you cheat, to say, well, we weren't really together. Does the other person think you're together? Then you're together.
Well, that would be a question to ask at the finale, but I don't know if we're going to get that kind of finale. I guess it'll be a Zoom finale or whatever it's going to be.
Well, it'll be a safe environment because Wendell could basically tell the truth and not worry about Michele sitting within 6 feet of him.
With no other TV shows to come on, really, I mean, they could just like drag it out over a couple of nights and just have like 15, 20-minute interviews with each person. Why not? I'd watch it.
Well, I've said they should be doing this. They should have the 2-hour, and then the final, and then the next week you announce it and have a 2-hour finale with just no show, just what's going on and what happened in the show, and especially this one because you want to know. I want to know if Michele and if they had a pregame, if Wendell was telling the truth, or if it was Wendell was being a jerk.
Every season, the diehard fans always want more.
Right.
And that'd be a great way for CBS to even if they just only put it on their all access.
Right.
That'd be a great way to get subscriptions up too. Like
because
we're going to a bonus episode with all the questions answered.
Because every season it gets worse.
Yeah.
They have less time. Yep. Because they know it's not popular anymore, and it's not popular because of the way they do it. And I still think they should go back to having like Rosie O'Donnell do it. I thought she only did it a couple of times, but she had energy.
Let's take a step back. Let's not Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, I'm just saying she was a fan of the show, and she was good at getting, and she was asking questions. She was asking questions as a fan.
As a fan, right.
And
Jeff
to me,
but Jeff is, I think he's stale when it comes to that sort of that.
Yeah. Well, he already knows the answers, and like I said, he might get a few things that the fans want, but to me, it's like if we were there, we'd be asking, okay, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do? To me, that's what the fans want to know.
What did you think? And what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather them spend an hour walking on the island remembering all the players that were eliminated.
No, I'm glad they stopped. Well, I used to fast forward through that.
I do.
I said, I don't care.
Unless at the very beginning, there's always those first couple of people, maybe first 2 or 3 that were voted out, and you could barely remember them.
Yeah.
So maybe I watched them just so I could try to remember. Oh, that's right, they did play.
Oh, Francesca was voted out first twice. Oh, I remember her.
But yeah, that was always like, oh, I don't really have to watch this week. Great.
Yeah, it's like that's when I used to tape it or DVR it, and then I would go, all right, fast forward it.
It's actually it's good for us that they don't have like that final recap episode, because then we would really have nothing to talk about the day after.
Oh, the one they have like at Thanksgiving. They used to have at Thanksgiving and holidays. Remember, it used to be like a recap, mid-season recap.
Yeah,
exactly. The Thanksgiving episode or the third to last Big Brother episode is the recap episode.
Listen, if you don't know what's going on by mid-season, sorry.
Right, you're not a fan. Plus, I think now you can go back and watch. I mean, people go back and watch them, and you don't need to. Like I said, if you're just a casual fan, you're not going to care about the recap anyway, right?
Exactly.
It's like, just I just want to know who wins.
Yeah, we need more information at the finale. We need more reactions. We need some of those things when you see that there are unresolved little bickers between the different castaways. Like, yeah, we need that. We need less of the pimping the next season would be great.
Right. Because you really don't need to pimp next season, because people are going to watch it anyway. Especially if this season was good, which it should be. I mean, I think this has been a really good season, even though we've lost all the big names that, except Tyson's back in it. I hate to say that for people like Kim and Tony and some of the players are still in it. I mean, there's still big names in it, but we lost like the fan favorites. I think Rob and Harvey and Natalie and some of the other players. But I thought it's been I thought last night's episode was really good.
Yeah. Was that the first time we heard that song?
I guess it's been playing before. That's the first time I've heard it.
Okay, it was the first time that I noticed it. So I was, and then I guess it wasn't, but it was for me. And I was like, oh my God, we have a song now.
I guess Jeff and his stepson wrote it.
Just personally, it was super lame.
Yeah. I think it's been on before, because Jay and Colleen have talked about it before. And I've been like going, I've never heard it. And then last night I'm like going, oh, is this the stupid song they're talking about?
Maybe it was more prominent last night. Maybe each episode we're going to get a little more. Until in the finale, you got Jeff out there singing it.
I figured with the way the song was being slowly introduced, towards the end you would find out that 5 of them were Cylons.
That could be it.
Yeah, that song was lame. You can't come in on season.
I got it.
And have that. I got it also.
Spoiler alert to anybody
for BSG.
Yeah.
I think it's been around long enough. I did want to talk about the immunity challenge, because I talked about it a little last night.
Yeah.
Now, if you're, because that's a tough challenge. You're floating back and forth. Now, if you fall off and the person next to you is not someone in your alliance, do you purposely jump close to their thing to make waves? So, I mean, I would do a cannonball.
They showed a couple people doing that. One of the other girls. I would have to go back and watch it, but one of the girls jumped in next to one of the other girls, and I wouldn't do it personally because of my luck. I'd end up hitting the other platform, and then I'd be gashing blood. Be like, I'd be out. I'd be medevaced out of there. But
it'll make for good television.
I think it's part of the game. If I'm next to you and you're not part of my alliance and I want you out, I'm jumping as close as I can to it, belly flop, poof, push my hands down.
Jump in so hard that you go up underneath and you kind of nudge it from underneath.
Well, probably you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think
disqualified for that. What? Now that's a question I would want someone to ask at the finale. Did anyone think about doing where you jump in and disrupt the person because anytime there was a little movement, you saw Adam couldn't even get back up on the damn thing.
Oh my gosh.
And my thought was, every time I see this, I go, because they've had it several times. I go, I would go out of my way to make. And now if the person next to me is in my alliance, I'm jumping straight out or behind him. I'm doing everything I can not to disrupt him.
Well, Adam couldn't get on there, and he was doing that thing where he was trying to put his feet forward on the beam like this and face forward, except the people who stayed the longest were kind of standing sideways, kind of surfer style.
Yeah, you have to do surfer style.
You have to do surfer style. And he could not get up there at all. So, yeah, bad technique. Maybe nothing left in his gas tank. I don't know.
Miami Mike said they played part of that song. We moved part of the song last week, but they played so much more on this episode.
Okay. Yeah, well, I caught it because they were actually subtitling it.
Yeah, and he also said all I can think about is I would not want to fall straight down in that challenge. Yeah, I said I would request a cup to do that challenge because that would be painful.
That's a really tough one.
It's a tough challenge because especially when the water's bouncing up and down
and so people like, okay, Poverty wasn't in it, but say Poverty with all her yoga, she would have an advantage on that, right? She's got better core strength. And then I think on something like that the girls would have a better opportunity with their assuming smaller feet than the men, because the bigger your feet, right? Doesn't that make it harder?
I would think so, yeah.
I think you have to think the bigger your feet. But then Ben was the last man,
Well, Kung Fu.
All right, I'm just going to tell you.
Technique was cool.
For all the garbage we've been talking about Ben this season, like last night, finally he was playing. And you go, wait, Ben is playing.
He's actually played for like the last couple weeks, but last night, yeah, he's become a player. Yeah, he's in the mix, I think.
He's in it.
He's in it. And now
he's in it to win it.
He doesn't have the annoying kid brother to bash around anymore. So now what's he gonna do?
I thought that where again with Adam too, when Ben confronted him, said, "Are you bringing my name up?" He goes, "No, other people are doing it." What other people? Other people that are still in the game.
Somebody who was standing there. What's the problem? He's confronted.
I would say Tyson has brought up your name. What do you care?
Yeah.
And then when he goes back to Ben, Tyson says, "I didn't say that." He came up to me and I said, "I don't know. Everyone's bringing up everybody's name. Or you say something." But I would have brought him not saying anything, just made him look guilty.
It made him look guilty. Just
not only does it make
his name. I was going to say, just really quick, bring up somebody's name just to introduce that paranoia into the moment and take the attention off of you.
Right, and he just and then Ben walks away. And goes, "Well, I haven't. Nope, you didn't answer the question."
Well, he screwed up for a couple of things because he could have got the spotlight off of him and onto Tyson. Tyson would have been a perfect person to do it that way because Nick was also noticing that Tyson's running around doing a lot of stuff. Like Tyson was a little too in the mix yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And then Adam, when he doesn't give him a name at all Ben is going to say is, "Oh,
you're a liar.
So you're not cool with me. You're keeping secrets from me." If he tells them someone, then Ben's like, "Oh, okay." I mean,
like I said, all I said, Tyson brought your name up to me, and some other people. There's a group of 4 of us there, and Tyson brought your name up.
And then at Tribal, when they're all start talking, and Adam's sitting there, I kept saying, "Adam, just starts telling, just out it. Tell everybody who came up to you and told you something different.
Yeah,
you have nothing to lose."
Exactly.
Yeah, this person came to me and said that, and this person came and told me this, and that person came and told me this. Why not? Why not burn them all?
He had nothing. He literally had nothing to lose at that point. The only thing that, like I said, maybe he thought so much that was going to be an idol.
But even if he thought it was an idol,
right?
He still has nothing to lose because if he thinks he's going to save himself, put it on someone else.
I was going to ask really quick, if Adam won immunity at the challenge, do you think at Tribal he still goes and tries to take that piece off?
No.
Not to save himself in the moment, but
the only thing is he would do it. Only thing you're putting a target on your back, so now people know you have an idol, right?
Okay.
When they go into Tribal, does production have them already pre-selected where they're going to sit, or do they just pick seats?
He said that he was sitting there on purpose since the second week.
Okay, because he was the very closest seat to the podium.
Yeah. He said he did it on purpose. The only thing I can think of is when you're leaving.
That's what I wondered if that's what he was going to try and do. Is there
Grab
getting
it then.
off? Maybe he pretends to drop something. He kind of lags behind and runs over and tries to see if he can grab it as they're
Right.
leaving, and no one notices.
But I think at this point you can't let people know you have it, right? Because you're already on the outs,
Right.
and the only thing that's, like you said, your scenario, he won immunity. The only thing that saved him was he had immunity.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows he knows he's on the bottom and been on the bottom for a while. If you get an idol, they're just going to flush it out, vote, and then they'll vote you, and you'll save yourself for one more week, and then the following week. And you're not a challenge beast. You're not good at the challenges anyway. He's never has been. So
I still think if he could have made it through this vote, and they were all getting up to leave, and he was positioned where he was,
right.
Still, and if someone was like, "What are you doing?" He'd be like, "Oh, that looked weird. I was just." He doesn't have to say it was an idol. It was just
I
like
just want to see what it was.
Yeah.
He could have acted like he couldn't figure out how to get his torch out of the hole.
Yeah. Wait, that fleur-de-lis is not my torch? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Poor Adam, but he said he purposely sat there since the second week because he thought that might be an idol.
Because he couldn't stop looking at it. They even showed him where he was like,
"This is going to save me. This is going to save me. This is going to save me."
Oh, and that's sad because he really did believe, like he was talking himself into it, right? Rather than panicking, he was like, "Nope, that thing's there."
I honestly thought, because the way they edited
Yeah.
early in the season when he was looking around that voting in the voting thing, that I go, "Oh, he's looking for an idol." That I thought it was good. I said, "Why would they show that?" Unless, well, they knew later on that he was going to do it. But again, I go, "Oh, that's going to be an idol. Good. That's such a cool move."
It's been several weeks. We haven't seen anyone screwing around looking for a hidden idol at all. Nobody.
No.
Nobody since the merge at all. No.
Or they're doing it, but there's no idol to find, so they don't bother showing it.
Yeah, but it's
again, I always say that's the worst. That's the most boring part of the show is when they show people looking for idols for 15 minutes. I hate it.
Come on. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it comes out good.
If someone falls down and gets hurt, yeah, okay, that could be interesting, but no.
Someone's walking up on them and they're trying to act like they're not looking when they're totally looking, right?
Miami Mike says Dalton Ross said Rob looked around the voting booth also.
Oh.
Okay.
So what made those two do that? Has there been
Season 6 Survivor South Africa?
Yeah.
You think that's what they're thinking? But why pull it out? I don't know.
Adam said he did watch that episode. He did watch that season. I'm pretty sure I remember him saying that today, that he knew it happened in another Survivor. And like I said, it matched the one that Denise had.
It had to be the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That they were just reusing pieces from previous season to build the set. It had to be.
I think also if you're coming together with 20 other winners, 19 other winners, that you have to figure that production is going to make you think out of the box on this. That this is going to be
Well, you would think so.
More than just fire tokens. I mean, that's what I would anticipate going in there. Clearly Jeff's podium isn't the idol, so.
There's just so many things.
Jeff's shirt. Get him to take that blue shirt off. That's the idol.
Yeah. Again, there's so many things that I'm not anti-idol. I'm anti how they get the idol.
Well, you just don't want it to be stale. You want it to be fresh.
Again, let the players. Again, you want players. Anything you're watching, you want players to win because they're thinking, not because they've been. Again, that's been. I think the biggest knock on Ben is that definitely he was just basically given the title.
Right.
He had the best story. He was the most sympathetic. Everybody liked him, but he was given. Now, like you said, Tristy, he's playing a great game right now. I think he is playing. He's playing a good game right now.
I didn't think he was going to come in and win immunity this week. I wasn't expecting that.
Yesenia doesn't like the half idols.
No.
Where it's 2 pieces and you have to get
Yeah,
your
Because Sophie still has an idol, right?
I thought she had both parts.
Yeah, she has both parts. She has both parts, and the only one that knows is Sarah. So when does Sarah backstab Sophie?
I don't know.
I think she has to.
Maybe I already made that pick for next week.
Maybe I didn't do my picks last week.
That helped me.
I did remember. I was like, oh.
At 7:44.
Miami Mike says Jack wants whoever gives the most 5-star reviews to Jay and Jack podcast to get an idol. Yeah, that would I would be all for that. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to talk about this episode?
Oh, when I'm watching it, I think of so many things like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I have to remember, and I never remember it. But there was no ball jokes last night. But
no.
It was very disappointing. I think that's something that Jeff looks forward to every week.
Yeah. I thought the reward challenge was pretty tough. I think we've had that one before, right? Where they have to carry the fish and fish puzzle. And
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Fish puzzle. I don't know that they had the fish puzzle with the same bits, but yeah, it was. They've done that fish puzzle for sure.
I'll tell you, after watching that, I was craving Swedish fish. It really was.
That's my wife. My wife loves Swedish fish.
Oh my gosh!
The things you crave in quarantine, right?
Which normally I could just go out and get, but Survivor airs after 8:00.
So now we're watching Survivor, and it feels like Survivor, right? We can't get the things we want.
I know it's such a tough thing. Mike C says Stephen Fishbeck loves the reward challenge. Fishbeck.
Oh, I get it.
This particular one. Well, he could probably use his tears to lubricate the fish to kind of get it in there easier.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I thought it was a good episode. Right now, okay, we talked about it last week. If you had to pick someone, who's your final 3 right now? With 10 people left, who's your final 3?
Tony, Kim. Who do I want? I don't know. I want to see Denise in there. I like how Tony changed up his game.
Well, we didn't mention Denise. She wasn't picked for the reward challenge. So either, I mean, she's better at these things than Michele. Well, I guess Michelle's good at the puzzles. But yeah, that would show that I'm on the outs if I'm not picked.
Well, and you got to think that that her kind of talking about her resume without actually saying her resume is still sitting in people's heads a little bit. It's got to be.
But a lot of names came up, but did you hear her name?
No.
So.
No, but I got to think that no matter who you are there, you might think, well, Denise is kind of loyal. And so if you're working with her, maybe you want to keep her, but you're going, nope, we got to get rid of her at like 5.
Right, yeah.
There's no way we let her get and talk to her.
It's tough because you don't really, the way they were talking, there's no strong alliances, I don't think. There's no 4 or 5 people alliance that I can see, right?
Well, that's actually what I was just sitting here looking at. So Sophie and Sarah are aligned, right? And then Sarah was also aligned with Tony, but that doesn't mean Tony and Sophie are aligned, right?
No, right.
Okay.
I like Yesenia says Sophie, Denise, and then Tyson.
Yeah.
I like
who wins between those 3.
I gotta say Denise or Tyson in a close vote.
If Tyson makes it to the end, that means all the other old schoolers are on the jury.
They're going to vote for him.
Yeah,
because the two new schoolers will cancel each other out.
They're going to be like, "Oh, you voted us all out, huh? Well, guess what? We get to vote, and guess what? We're not letting a new schooler win the whole thing." So
right,
it kind of keeps their credit in check, right? If it's an old schooler that takes after they're all out.
It's like I said, right now I think Jeremy and Sophie are playing probably the best game because again, you don't hear their names coming up.
Yeah, I think there's no way anyone can take Tyson to the end. I don't think there's any way you can take Denise based on the resume thing. I mean, though someone else could have look like a bigger threat later
And
on.
also, it also depends who comes back into the game, because if Rob comes back into the game, he could easily make a run at the win some immunities and go to Final Three. And if he goes to Final Three, I don't see how he loses unless Tyson's there. It could cancel out the vote, but I think he would cut Tyson loose.
Who's left from Rob's original tribe?
Ben, right?
Ben, that's it, right?
Yeah, Adams, but they weren't really tight. He wasn't tight with his tribe.
And then
what is Amber?
Was Jeremy that? Was Jeremy there? I think Jeremy was part of it, right? Yeah, Jeremy was part of the original tribe.
Was he?
Yeah, I believe so.
I bet
because Jeremy's name came up a lot in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike says
Jeremy was with Rob. Okay.
Yeah, Kim was with the other was Sandra, because Sandra was freezing her out.
But even though Ben and Jeremy being from his original tribe, and if Rob came back in, I don't see either one of them being super excited that Rob's back and be like,
no. Well, that's why I said you gotta get rid of Tyson, because Rob and Tyson would have an alliance up at least till 4 or 5.
I think they would have an alliance, but they would never let anybody know they had an alliance, and they'd both be working both ends of everybody.
Again, I can't believe Tyson's still in the game. There were so many bigger threats than Adam last night. Adam was not going to win the season because he didn't have the story. He didn't play a good game.
And let's face it, he wasn't going to win a challenge either.
No, so Adam, to me, why vote Adam out? He was on the bottom. He probably just wanted to. He'd go with anybody just to vote. I mean, I know you can't trust him, but you can't trust anybody right now.
Right, but that's the thing. What's safer? Someone you can't trust, and you know it.
Yeah.
Or someone that you're not sure if you can trust. Do you know what I mean? The person that you're like, they're lying, I don't trust them. That's easy, because now you just don't believe anything they say. Right. The threat is neutralized. You're just, okay.
Yeah, Tyson.
You don't tell anything.
I would have voted Tyson out in a heartbeat.
I think Tyson staying around longer is also going to help his game if he does make it to the end.
Yeah.
But if for example, let's say Rob were to win his way back in my opinion, Rob hasn't played enough Survivor this season to really give him a resume to try to win this game. Where, if Rob were to pull it out this season and win, I think really they're just basing their votes on, hey, it's Rob from previous seasons of Survivor.
Well, it depends on when
my husband.
Right.
Depends on when they do that challenge for that person to come in, because Tyson was out originally before Rob by a couple votes.
Right.
So if now it's 2 votes again and Rob's back in, then essentially they've been in the game the same amount of time, honestly.
Miami Mike says Jeremy, Ben, Michele, Denise are the only ones left from his original tribe. Now, but Michele might vote for Rob, because Rob really said, you have nothing to be ashamed of and all that different stuff.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was nice with her, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I know. I love Rob, and I think it would be awesome because he's always good TV. He's always good watching how he interacts with people, with the exception of him making them all grounded to the shelter. That
was dumb.
Because that's not fun to watch, but it was still like, oh my gosh, they're not just going to screw you. We're going to go for a walk. Like they did.
I think the old school players vote as a block, and I think anybody who's on the edge of extinction is going to vote for. Yeah, I think the one guy that won that one time, he got back in, and the edge of extinction people voted it, gave him the win, because they knew. And this time has been harder. I think so. It's been, he had Sandra, didn't even stay for it; she just quit. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be.
I still think Sophie has a good chance to go to the end.
Yeah,
because I don't think people are. Well, I mean, she's come up a couple times in people's conversation, but they never seem to really focus on it.
They don't see her. They don't see her as a threat, because last night I assumed that when Tony was talking about weak players, he mentioned Kim. I thought he was talking about Kim, and I'm like going, how do you throw Kim as a weak player? But I guess I was wrong. He didn't say that.
there's more people playing harder than Sophie that are bringing attention onto them right now.
Right.
I could even see, even with Tony's change in the way he's playing, I could see Tony, because he's just so much in your face.
Yeah.
I could see Tony being voted out quicker than Sophie.
Mm-hmm. Unless they assume that there's no way Tony would ever win. No one would ever vote for Tony.
Right.
And then Tony comes along and wins. Are you going to eat those words?
Well, sure, but I'm not a winner of Survivor. All of these guys
are right here.
All of these guys are previous winners, right? So when I would assume that they all have kind of a certain heartfelt feeling for what it is to be the winner, right? And they want a winner that's going to represent them all. And you know what I'm saying? They want it to be like, yes, that's a good winner to represent all of us.
I think too, and I think I've been saying this from the beginning. You want if I'm voting, I'm going to vote for the person who I thought played the best game. But you're also thinking, okay, that's a 2-time winner. There's only been one other one, Sandra. All right, who deserves to be the 2-time? Right. Who's the one you would say, okay, that person's really put their. If it's a close vote, it's like, okay, there's 3 people up there. They all played a good game. I'm going to give it to the person I think deserves to be
a 2-time winner.
2-time winner, and
a specific title that other people aren't going to have.
Right.
And honestly, all of them, maybe Jeremy right now, of those guys, Jeremy might be the one that they might have the most respect for as a winner.
Yeah. He's played. This is his 3rd time, and he's played pretty well every time.
These guys are bigger fans of the show than we are. They watch every season. They know all the players. They're going to know, just like Jack, that Ben just stumbled upon Idols, his
right.
season. And they're going to know that regardless of what Rob told Michele to her face, they're going to know that her win was kind of controversial. Do you know what I mean? They all know.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to give those two, make them a 2-time winner? I'm like going.
They're not going to give it to Nick. I don't think, you know what I mean? I think that's just my feeling on it. They're going to look at who's there, and it won't even matter what comes out of their mouth. They're going to look at it and go, this is the person we want to represent us or not.
Exactly. Kim, Tyson, Denise, because she, there's, who else is left? Kim, Tyson, Denise, Jeremy, Sophie, even Sarah. I know people don't like Sarah, but I think she's a smart, except for last night, she's a smart player.
Yeah.
You do not bring my name up. You do not. The way she said it, I was like, wow, cuckoo. All right. It was very odd. It was very Sarah Angela.
I will kill
maybe
you.
That's foreshadowing. Maybe she'll be the new queen. Because that sounded so. Sandra said stuff like that. Get my name out of your mouth. Hasn't she said?
Oh yeah. She said it this season.
Right. So maybe that was foreshadowing for production.
So Ro also.
That's my theory.
In the chat, Ro says she doesn't think Tony can win either. So, okay. People who don't think Tony will win. Christy. Wow.
I don't think Tony can win.
Jack. I'll have to send 3 copies just in case.
Well, to be fair, he's still in the game, but what has he done to stay in the game? He's just floating. His resume this season has been.
I agree. If it does truly boil down to just being a popularity contest, as far as giving somebody the second title of being a 2-time winner, I agree. Tony's not worthy of that.
I think it's not gonna be just popularity. I think they're gonna look at like how well they played, their integrity. Are they? You know what I mean? They're not gonna let. I just don't think they're gonna let somebody that's gonna be kind of. I don't know.
Well, because Tony's saying it every time. He goes, the players that are just, last night he called them hyenas, but the weak of the group, they're all winners, but of the weaker of the group, the people that just kind of won because they got lucky and won. They won because it was on popular jury, or they won because someone kept giving them idols or something like that. So I think personally, I want to see someone that plays the game win, and there's like 5 or 6. That I'd be happy if they won. The other 4 would be like, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but if there's 4 of them, I'm like going, I wouldn't give it to them.
And Yesenia even brings up Denise's move. And to me, so far, I mean, that was
That's a move. I mean, that's
probably the standout move so far of the season.
This season, I agree with you. Yeah, I think you're right.
Unless, all right, so let's say Adam's attempt at immunity was legit. Was that a winning worthy move? Pulling the idol off of Jeff's podium.
If that would have paid off, I think that's a top 5 move of all time.
Take Jeff's wristwatch.
Because it would have saved him. Number one. Number two, it's like I didn't know about that South Africa part.
Yeah.
Crack the code.
I said would have been at least a top 5 move. It was so cool.
I think we'll still be talking
work.
about it, regardless of it working. We'll still be talking about it for a long time. I think
there was a season. I don't remember which season it was, but the immunity idols were part of like the plaque that was right over their camp.
That was James. He had 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was James. Right.
And he went home with 2 of them.
Because wasn't it that he got the one from his camp, and then when he went to the other camp, they had the same thing, and he was like, "Hello, it's right there."
And then Miami Mike says China, and I'm like going. I go, oh my God, play because I love James. Love James as a player. Yeah. Play because I knew we all knew he was in trouble. I was like, play it. And he didn't play it. I'm like, you went home with 2 idols. No.
Because he looks around and feels so secure.
Yeah.
Sold them on eBay, paid some bills.
I don't know. Anyway, on that note, do we want to talk about the fantasy league?
Not really.
Sure. You don't want to?
Go ahead.
JP doesn't want to? So, yes.
All right. Let me just say.
The worst part is I had Adam going home.
Yeah.
I had the reward right. People.
If you made your picks.
I said I got to take a shower because I was outside working in the yard. I got to take a shower. I said, oh wait, my picks. It was like 8:55. I go running out. I go. It wouldn't let me make the picks. I go, come on.
Got you off at 7:45.
I'm sorry, 7:55. It was. Anyway.
Yeah,
I totally had Denise. I thought Denise would go because I just thought that resume thing was just going to be too much.
In my original pick last week, I had Adam going home, and then somebody from Miami in our chat room said something about a big twist this week.
Oh yeah.
So
was it the trying to rip the podium apart? Was that the big twist?
Must have been the big twist. Yeah.
That caused me to change my.
Never trust anyone from Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you and I both put Denise. She did not go home. Oh well. Yeah, so Jack forgot to do his picks, but so did Callie. So whatever.
Jack, you would have finished in first.
Of the people who remembered to do their picks, I was in last place and JP was right above me. So yeah. Maggie's moving right up, but this was a hard pick week because nobody went out of their like cuckoo crazy on points. Came in first place of the weekly picks.
Oh, that just makes the week even worse.
And he had 345 points. So that wasn't even like, oh my gosh, this was a hard week for people to pick. Nobody just took it all, really.
Wait, hold on a second. Gigi's trying to. She lives in. I'm assuming it's she. Gigi. Lives in Florida, but I'm not from Florida. I just live here, so trying to defend the fact.
Well,
I'm just kidding. Florida. I know a lot of people from Florida that are okay.
Mike's in Miami. Was he in the Broward side? I thought he was on the Broward side. No. And Gigi, you're not from Florida. Where are you from then?
As long as she's not from Jersey, she's okay.
Well, lots of people who live in the majority. Well, a big chunk of people who live in Florida are either from New York or New Jersey, so they're all moving down there. Oh yeah, Mike was in Broward. That's where I used to live in Broward, so that's why I thought I'd remember that. Anyway, so for the whole week, or overall, Brandy took the lead. She took the lead.
Wow, good job, Brandy.
Yeah, way to go. And then Rose in third place. JP, you're in fourth, so you're moving up. Leslie's in fifth, Gott's in sixth, Maggie's in seventh, Kelly's in eighth, Jack, you're in ninth. But you're just doing it to make Maggie feel better, right? Because she came in late.
No, I don't want her to win.
Gosh, well, you officially missed more weeks than Maggie did, so she started 2 weeks late. You've forgotten 3 weeks. Now, had you got those points in those 3 weeks, you would not be in last place. So we appreciate it. Making everyone else look good, right?
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's what it is.
But I had Adam going home.
Sure.
That's what in the podcast. That's what I had.
Yeah.
Anyway, so MVP of last night's. This is tough because did anyone really stand out?
Well, Adam stood out from everything.
Now, obviously, if Adam got the idol, that's the MVP. But I mean, Ben had a good game. Kim had a good game.
Can I give it to Jeff for really sticking it to Adam for making a dumb decision?
You can give it to anybody you want.
It wasn't Michele for using her 4 fire tokens for that stupid flip coin.
No, unless it pays off later on.
I just don't see how it can.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, I could just give it to Nick because it's his birthday. Why
not?
I would say. I mean, Sarah, sacrificing, even though it really isn't a standout move by, sacrificing her reward. It was a nice gesture on our part. I mean, there really wasn't
an MVP move.
No. It was a crummy move.
This was like this episode was almost like, who the heck is going to survive? There wasn't like an MVP player. Let's give it to production for the way they edited the music.
Yeah, for that snappy song.
Yes.
I'm going to give it to Tony, just because he was smart, he was calm, and he went to Sarah and said that was a terrible move you made. He was saying what all of us were thinking. Well,
if they're together, they're kind of working together.
Yeah.
He was honest with her and was like,
right,
hey, don't do that again.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it to Tony because Tony was 100% right.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Tony also because he was smart enough to sit down with her on a log and not drag her into a spy shack.
And you know what? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to tell her that to get her heads up, because he could have thought if I tell her that night, she could take it the wrong way, and then, but he's honest with her. So that's actually a good teammate to.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it to Tony.
All right. Well, I would give it to Ben.
Okay.
Because he finally started really kind of doing something tonight. And I don't know what he found when he was out in the woods before that challenge, but he was like super focused. I don't know if he was like found some magic mushrooms. He was doing his things. And is it well known? Do we know he knows Kung Fu? Is this a thing? Or does he legitimately know martial arts of some sort?
I don't know. It would remind me of this guy that used to skate at the rink when I worked in San Diego, and he would come in and he'd always wear like black, and he had one of those the sinister mustache. He had that.
Really?
He'd be, "Hello, how are you doing?"
Oh,
but
wow.
He'd skate around the rink doing this. Hold on a second.
Kind of reminds me.
Skate around the rink doing all the time, and you'd sit there and he'd kick his leg, and you'd sit there and watch him go, and he would just do it the whole time he was skating.
Just a character.
And he'd just like this. Thank you for letting me skate today. And he'd walk out and you go.
Do you remember that band from the 80s, Sparks?
I remember them from the movie Roller Coaster in the 70s.
Were they in that? No.
I believe they were.
Were they? There was a guy in that band that was like that guy, Jack. Like the very like dry, like didn't talk, like very hello.
Yeah, but he was like like I'm trying to think like who was the one that it was a Dudley Do Right? They would tie the girl to the Penelope.
Big Dastardly. Big Dastardly and Muttley.
Yeah.
That guy, that Dick Dastardly guy.
That's who the guy was.
Yeah. Weird. Okay, well.
And then there's also another lady that used to bring her kid. She'd bring a playpen in, and she'd have the kid. This was before we got glass all the way around. We used to put nets, so there were boards. So she put the babies in the thing. We'd be like, and then she'd actually literally roll on the ice
with the playpen, pushing them around.
No. The playpen would be off the ice.
Okay.
And she would skate around and check on them every now and then. But I'm like going. But then she'd literally roll on the ice. She'd lay on and roll this way and roll this way, and we're like,
like log rolling.
Yeah.
laying down on.
Yeah, and finally I had to tell her when it was too busy saying, yeah, you can't do that because you're going to trip somebody. She was like, I do it all the time. I go, yeah, you can do it when it's really slow because people know you're crazy and they stay away from you. But if you got busy, because she's a hazard. But yeah, you see, it used to be like there was always crazy people.
She was just trying to cool off. She was like really hot. She's gonna lay on the ice trying.
I don't know. I guess we're watching your kids today.
I can't believe you guys let her walk off with her kids in the playpen because I would be like, no, that's not okay. No.
Wasn't my call. Wasn't my call. This is way years ago. I was just a lowly skate guard. So.
Oh, that was in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wouldn't have allowed it here. I was said, no, you gotta.
Well, times have changed by the time you were there. In San Diego, that's different times. That was back when you still rode 3 to the front seat, and your arm was the seatbelt. Yeah, right.
We used to have my friend had a Mustang that had a hatch in the back, and we go to the beach, we'd lift the hatch up, put a beach chairs and sit in the back, and just have the hatch up and sit in the beach chairs. So kind of stupid, but
In high school, we used to all jump in the back of the pickup. People would have a pickup. We'd all get in the back and ride around out to parties, out at the dam sites, out in the country on dirt roads. It's like, what were we? And our parents, whatever.
I remember
when were we alive?
When I was like 13, my father bought a pinball machine and borrowed somebody's pickup truck. He had to drive down the New Jersey Turnpike to go get it. And he let me and my sister sit in the back of the pickup truck.
On the pinball machine. To make sure the pinball machine didn't get hurt.
Yeah, that was the excuse we probably would have told the cops. But yeah, we were sitting in the back of the pickup truck going down the New Jersey Turnpike.
The kids, I can make more kids, but do you see this pinball machine? It's one of a kind.
It's a one of a kind.
The kids I care about are back home.
Yeah, I brought the 2 kids I didn't care about. On that note, we had a good crowd in the chat. That was
thanks for coming and seeing us, guys.
It's always more fun when we have people in the chat. Makes it interesting for us. But if you want, we'll be here next week, same time, Thursday night, talking about what happened on Survivor. Give us a thumbs up, share it. What else is there? Oh, subscribe and all that fun stuff. But we'll see you next week, and I will promise I'm going to play this week's fantasy game. So
get those picks in.
Yeah. So bye, everybody.
Bye.